I will present the ethical guidelines that we have. Sorry, I need to just up. Yes, I need to do like this. I will present the ethical guidelines on the use of AI and data in teaching and learning for educators that were published in October 2022. Just before the media buzz on ChatGPT, and it's important to keep it in mind because we will see that this is a starting point to reflect and to raise the awareness of the teaching community and staff for an ethical use of AI and data in education. And we saw also that many questions and fierce first questions after that, and then real reflective questions and that confirm a reasoning, as well as the reasoning of the AI for Teacher project, I can tell you, and I'm glad of that. For sure, we can tell that AI is not longer a distant reality, and we convinced a lot of people with this media buzz, for sure. But we have observed this using different applications, just like mathematics or foreign languages. And that was the reason why we anticipated for the AI Teacher project, this domain of education. We can say that AI is part of digital skills to be acquired now, and it's important. It's not only awareness, but also maybe we can pick and evaluate what type of skills we need to train, and what kind of skills teachers and students need to have to use it ethically. It's a great potential to enhance the education, but also we cannot reduce AI to generative AIs. Maybe it's an important message that I would like to deliver here, because we when we worked on these guidelines with an expert group, we first tried to identify many fields in which AI is used or can be used in education, and the first part was to identify first the adaptive learning technologies. We know that they're using student dashboards to guide learners, or to provide individualized interventions for special needs, to predict dropouts, to score some ACEs using automatic tools, but also using the chatbots, or these generative answers that we have. And the main important thing that we can highlight here is that AI is an assistive tool, and when we say tool, we can discuss this, but it's in an assistive way that we want to use AI to let all the importance to the human agency. We didn't start from scratch, as you can imagine, for two reasons. First, we have a lot of projects in EU policies, and we also have this updated digital competencies framework, the DISCOM 2.2, which included in March 2022 some items for AI. I don't know if you have it in mind. It's not adapted into the DISCOM Edu, but this is a part, and we work a lot with the GSC, which is one of our agencies for research and development of these tools, as well as Selfie, for example. We also have had a look on many initiatives, on various initiatives that member states or other organizations have, just not reinventing the wheel, as we can say. We had the obligation, I can say, to align it with the whole policies, AI policies in the European Commission and the European institutions. So we use the ethic guidelines for trustworthy AI, as well as the list of trustworthy AI, which name is Altai, but I will tell you something after that. And for sure, there is pending, and it's still pending for the adoption. There is a discussions now since 2021, I guess, from the first proposal, April 2021, I guess, about a regulation, which is the AI Act, which is a global regulation, and education is part of this, as you know, and also with a lot of discussion about the level of risks, and education and training are part in some cases to the high risk qualification. So we can have some discussion on that. And we also used to align our proposal with others legislations, just like the Data Act, the GDPR, the Declaration of Digital Rights and Principles, etc., etc. So keep in mind that it's only a starting point, and it's included into a broader part of the AI, European AI initiatives. Just like I said, just to explain the context, it took almost 15 months to deliver and publish the guidelines with the work of an expert group with various 25 people and various profiles, educators, specialists of AI, specialists of ethics, etc., etc. And during this preparatory study, and then during the elaboration of the guidelines, we consult teachers, member states representatives with workshops with the e-twinning, for example, or with a survey online for teachers, etc. So it's based also, it's not only top-down, it's also bottom-up approach to build these guidelines, and we try to be practical, the most practical that we can. And now you can find these guidelines as well as other materials to promote it in all the 24 European members' languages. So we also have this period to translate all in the 24 languages. Let me now start with the guidelines and the main objective that we have. And I say here, I can just read the first paragraph because it summarizes what we try to do. These guidelines aim to provide the practical support and guidance for teachers and educators to understand the potential of AI application and data can have in education, to raise the awareness of possible risk, even unintentional ones, which is very important also to outline. So that they are able to engage positively, critically, ethically with AI systems and explore their full benefit. This is a starting point because we cannot, we haven't enough background from the experience and the expertise and the use of AI, as you can also demonstrate it in your own activities with AI4Teacher project. So it's important just to say what do the guidelines include. It's important here to say that we tried and the expert group insisted to start with examples of AI in education and data use in education. First, identify where and for whom AI is used in education. Then we analyze and we propose the ethical consideration and requirements, because we try to link it with ethical consideration and questions that are sometimes ethical, sometimes very practical in the guiding questions, which is the third part of the guidelines. The guiding questions are built on the trustworthy AI with the Altai components, and we have these different components here, and we try to apply these components and to provide questions depending on the examples that we have in mind, and then to build the use cases that we can to implement these questions for real. The emerging competencies, because we link, as I said, with the DigiComp 2.2, and then we're related and we question if the DigiComp is good enough or if we need to revise it a lot, but we have this starting point. We also propose in these guidelines glossary terms applied to education. We try to not to be technical only, but just to link the technical terms to the way that we need to use it in education. And sometimes we have a lot of discussion between the experts, as you can imagine, and also between if I can tell this just like now it's a funny thing, but sometimes there is a sort of tension between the teams from DG Connect and DG EAC, because we came with different backgrounds here, but it's very interesting to at the end to join our force to build this. And also we provide EU policy overview on AI. So when we identify the concrete example cases, we use also something you are familiar with. If you read a lot of papers from different colleagues and researchers, using this to find, without being exhaustive, the way in which students use AI, students are supported by AI, and teachers are supported by AI. And the fourth categories, system supporting, I can say this is not the most important part here, because we focus a lot on the relationship between teachers, educators, and students. First, about teaching, learning, and assessment at school or in school, whatever you name school, because with the VLEs and the digital spaces, we know that the classroom is not only the four walls that you have to teach in. So many cases here that you can just have a look. I will not say much more, but we have this language learning application, the dialogue-based tutoring systems, the intelligent direct systems, also the summative writing assessment, for example. So many cases we have this research and this study, the preparatory study with the expert group. So we took 4 key considerations, and maybe the most important here is to insist and to highlight that we insisted in 4 key considerations. And you understand that I talk about considerations, not principles, because we have a lot of discussion with teachers of philosophy, if I can say, and lawyers that are part of the groups, and justified choice, which is very important for teachers to be confident and also to explain and to be transparent. And the transparency, maybe it's not the same with the requirements, with the technical requirements, and the point of view of a teacher that is dealing and teaching students. So we have just the justified choice, we have the human agency, and for sure, humanity and fairness are coming with digital rights, with human rights, etc. So we bring the education principles at the beginning, just to keep in mind that we were aware about how to help teachers and staff to understand that we need to applicate these key recommendations, considerations, requirements that are for all, and then in education. So we build school scenarios, and with these school scenarios, we try to, because in between the considerations that you have here and the school scenarios, we have 4 pages with the 7 requirements and different questions, guiding questions that we can ask about each requirement. And then we build to the school scenarios and try to apply the questions depending on different requirements that we identified. And for those, we also explain that you can use different questions to build your own requirements, to build your own questions depending your projects, because at the end, as we know as teachers, it depends a lot on the context that you are in and that you are dealing with. So it's important here. And the questions can be ethical, but they can be also very practical, and they need to be discussed collectively, which is also important for us to explain that we need to discuss it collectively. So you have these school scenarios about, for example, scoring essays, automated tools. So at this stage, we didn't speak about the generative AIs or the chatbots that are at the end, it came after that. So that's also important or interesting to read or reread the guidelines with the last few months in between the publication and now. So we have these school scenarios using adaptive learning technologies to adapt each learner's abilities. And thinking of that, I have in mind, I can tell you that I had in mind the French cases that I was in charge before coming to the commission with the initiatives from learning French and math, but I guess that my colleagues told you a lot about this. So, which is important here, maybe it's just when you have a project or when you want to plan for use AI at school for educational purposes, for teaching, learning, and assessment, you have to discuss and to anticipate some questions to reflect the best way to do it, and to check the balance at the end, and to have the good balance and to use the AI to plan. So to use the AI, or even if you are using the AI, to reflect on your practice here with all the stakeholders. So we propose, this is a starting point, a starting method for a common approach to plan for effective AI and data use in school, to raise the awareness and the engagement of all the communities. So maybe you will stay, in French we say rester sur sa faim. I don't know how to say it in English, but that's important here to say that maybe you will have other ideas, and I hope that you have other ideas to complete and to go forward with these guidelines. And we tried also to, I'm going too fast. Sorry. And we can ask you to promote and to discuss and to let us know where if they are useful for you, how we can complete it, etc. This is important. This is a start point. This is not the end point. So, and we are waiting. I can tell you, we are waiting also for the publication and for the adoption first of the AI Act, because with the AI Act, we will need probably to revise, or maybe we will be allowed to go through cases that are not generic cases. Here we built generic cases which are sometimes, because I heard from teachers yet and from different colleagues yet, that it could be useful to have more concrete examples again and again. But to have concrete examples, we need to have you on board and testing the AI with this type of framework. So the importance also, and I will finish here by 2 slides. What we have done with the guidelines is linked to the old digital education action plan. And we have other parts. We have at the same time in October 2022 published the guidelines to tackle disinformation through education and training. This is important also because you have all of this AI usage that can be important to assist us to tackle disinformation. Or to produce this information. This is also a controversy that we can discuss, but this is also important to have the human agency at the end in mind. And now I'm leading the Action 3 about how to propose a European digital education content framework. So it means that we try to have all the stakeholders designing, producing, distributing, using, and sharing the feedbacks about the content and the content we need to teach, learn, and assess. And then we will have the same discussion with, and we have yet the discussion with some of them according ChatGPT, but not only. And if you think about ChatGPT here, you need to think about not only how to use it, but how to produce content, teachers, students, but also publishers or edtech, because they also use in their own system to produce the content they can use it. But it reminds us that we have a lot of challenges here, but I guess that Colleen will give you a full explanation on that. And at the end also, I can tell you that we have the Digital Education Hub, which is the latest and the Action 14 in the app, the Digital Education Action Plan. And here you can subscribe to the European Digital Education Hub. We have more than 2,050 people that are subscribed, sorry, here. And there is a squad now and discussions on AI in education here, but also about micro-credential, other topics, and people can ask for themes of discussion. And this is a bottom-up approach, because we are not deciding at the European Commission which are the topics to be discussed only. We have the proposals, so we try to involve as much as we can people here to have their say, to have their comments, suggestions. And this is, in my view, because I tried to do this in France also before, this is a very important way to use digital and to practice digital education in general. And it's mostly important if you have to use it with AI at this stage, because it renews a lot of many things in our thinking, and also for the organization of the educational systems, I guess. That's it, and you can find, and I will share for sure the slides, sorry, Petra, so you can provide them to all the participants, because this is the usual presentation that we have now in the European Commission.